Welcome to our channel. Today we will talk about one of the most terrible stories in world forensics, about Thierry Paulin, a famous French murderer, whose cruelty and cold-bloodedness left a mark in the memory not only of France, but also of the whole world. Thierry Paulin was born on April 17, 1963 in Lille, France. His childhood can be called cloudless, loving parents, normal living conditions. However, shortly after his teenage years, the first signs of psychological problems began to appear. Paulin could not cope with society's standards and began to get into various troubles. At the age of 19, Thierry was already in trouble with the law. He committed minor offenses, but this was only preparation for his criminal career. In 1981, Paulin committed murder for the first time. While celebrating his birthday in a bar, he met a young woman. During several hours of communication, a conflict arose, which ended in her death. Thierry went to prison, but was released after a few years. His release was an unfortunate event not only for him, but also for many innocent people. Thierry returned to life, but he was already different, full of hatred and aggression. At times it seemed that he had found his calling, to cause pain. Over the next 5 years, Paulin committed a series of murders, shocking law enforcement with his brutality and shamelessness. His victims were women, socially vulnerable, often homeless and forgotten. He took advantage of their weakness by promising help and then committing brutal crimes. Investigating the murders, the law enforcement officers discovered that Thierry did not choose his victims randomly. They were for him symbols of all the images he had accumulated during his life, women who reminded him of failures and unfulfilled hopes. In his actions, hatred for everything feminine is revealed, hatred that has turned into a catastrophic form of crime. Eventually, in 1986, Paulin was arrested. During his detention, he showed no emotion, neither pity nor fear. This instilled horror in the investigators. In front of them stood a creature, devoid of any moral principles. His psychiatric examination confirmed their fears. He was an easy target for manipulation, and had no feelings for his victims. The trial of Thierry Paulin was stormy. During the hearing, he constantly insisted on his innocence, claiming that his confession was obtained under duress. However, despite his objections, the court found him guilty of multiple murders and sentenced him to life imprisonment. He again remained cool during the sentencing, and no screams, tears or pleas for mercy were heard from him. The consequences of Paulin's crimes were felt not only in his personal environment, but also in the entire society. His case raised questions about crime, violence against women, and mental illness. Why do people like him exist in our society, and can they be stopped? Throughout his life, Thierry Paulin was engaged in writing. In his letters to friends and relatives, he tried to explain his actions, but his arguments always remained incomprehensible to a normal person. They pointed to a deep misunderstanding of himself. Now, many years after his arrest, Paulin's case has become the subject of research by criminologists and psychiatrists. They are interested in studying criminals like him to understand where their ruthlessness begins, and why society remains powerless against such brutal personalities. Unfortunately, he is not the only face of brutal killers in the world. Many people have left a similar mark on history, but this does not make them any less terrible. One way or another, it is worth remembering that behind every crime there will be human dramas, broken lives, and unjustified pain. Let's be attentive to those people who surround us. Perhaps, in this way, we can prevent new tragedies. Thank you for watching our video. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and leave a comment. Together, we can refresh the memory of those affected by violence and create a better, safer society for us all. See you in the next video.